Hello, everyone. Thanks for joining us tonight. Feel free to unmute yourself if you want to say hi and throw your camera on. We got Coach Tony here right off the top.
Hello, everyone.
Hi.
Hi, Anna.
How are you guys today?
Good. Is no one going to put their pictures at all, or is it going to be all black screened and that?
This is exactly what it's like for the classes too, eh? Nobody. There we go.
Oh, geez. There we go. Happy people.
Yeah, I got a birthday tomorrow, so I'm pretty hyped about it.
Birthday? Uh-oh.
Yep.
What, 18?
17.
17. Gee.
Yeah.
Nice.
I'm born pretty late.
Nice. It's awesome. So I'm just trying to get my Adopt Lord stuff sent. Jill, are you there?
Yeah, hi.
How are you? Do you have a picture, or are you on your phone?
No, I don't know how to turn it on. I'm trying to figure it out.
So you should be bottom left corner beside your mic. It should be
Start video.
Start video.
And then you can put a virtual background too if you want. Does it look like I'm in the gym?
Oh, hey.
There you are.
Hi.
Yeah, so Jordan's in the gym right now, but that's the old floor. The new floor, it makes it look brighter though, eh, Jordan? The new floor?
Does it?
I think so, yeah, absolutely.
We haven't got any nice new photos yet. I need to schedule Al to come in one day. Just get all the new stuff between the new floor in the gym and then the new softball diamond.
Nice.
Is Jocelyn there?
She's there, but she's not hearing us.
Yeah.
There we go. So just off the top, I don't know how many of you have seen this yet, but I'm going to share my screen, and I'm just going to play our women's volleyball video, which one of our work study students put together last year. Did an incredible job and kind of breaks down quite a lot of the program. You might recognize Tony, who's the star of the video.
Yeah.
So here we go.
We all really want to win, and we all want to work hard towards winning. We don't think that just because we've done so well in the past years that other teams are just going to give it to us. We know that people know who we are because of how well we've done, and we have to work for what we want. These past couple of years have been really good. Team-wise, I've made some of my best friends on this team who I believe will be with me for the rest of my life. And it doesn't feel like we're really friends. It feels like we're more of like a small family because of how closely knit we are.
Honestly, it's a really great program. There's a lot of extras that we have here. We have ETS, which is one of our fitness programs that we go through during the season, which helps with like injury prevention and also helps us improve as players throughout the year. Also, we have a really great coaching staff.
Star of the show.
We're really hard on academics, and we want to make sure that everyone, while they're doing well on the court, they're also doing well off the court.
The way I approach as a coach, like, you're here to be a student first. You have to be a successful student in order to play volleyball. You have a certain grade point average. If you're a scholarship athlete, you have a certain grade point average to receive that. School is going to get you where you want to be. Once you get that under your belt, then you become the athlete, and that's what we work hard on to make sure that they're successful in the court that way.
You meet a lot of new people on the sports teams, and you make a lot of new friends, so it just kind of makes you feel more comfortable coming from high school.
We know it's a big jump going from high school to college. We do open gyms for the summertime. Sometimes we know the kids 2 summers ahead, and we'll have them come out just to meet the girls and train and try to get to the next level and then just help ease that transition.
Getting to know some of the girls before even starting school helped a lot, because you kind of you make friends through it because you already have a common interest.
We try our best to make sure that it's a second family and you feel welcome and you feel comfortable. We want them to come in and go, hey, I know 10, 12 other people, and that they feel a little more comfortable and a little more stable.
A lot of the teachers are really understanding for first years, and they try to help you as much as possible. And as long as you let them know when you're missing things and you're going to make up for them, they're pretty understanding of all that.
So when I recruit, I talk to the athletes about potential athletes, what programs they're interested in. We have a lot of good programs that we can utilize here and really try to sell Durham for what it is. We have tons of amenities that a lot of other schools don't have.
We have an academic athletic study room that was provided for us. We all go up there to study sometimes or just to finish homework.
I think it's really good having the team room kind of as a place to go in between class, before practice, after practice really helps out. We have like ice tubs in the back of the room that I usually use almost every time after practice.
The gyms that we have are up to date, nice equipment that we could utilize, our hitting boxes, our AccuSpike, setting targets, passing targets.
Having like people be there to set it up for us to make sure everything's right and perfect, it's really helpful. It doesn't really put extra stress on us.
One of the big programs that we utilize is the ETS, Elite Training Systems. That's something that a lot of schools don't have for varsity only training sessions to help your athletes to increase their speed and vertical and to avoid therapy. Therapy we have 2 great trainers every year that are overseen by our therapy staff. Our athletes are usually pretty strong and do avoid injury as much as possible.
We have a great coaching staff. Tony especially, he knows how to reach out to the girls and how to get them motivated during practice.
I think what's so good about our coaching staff is that they respect us as players. Respecting your players is very important and kind of encourages people to play and work hard.
Sometimes when we're looking down and stuff, he'll always try to bring out the positivity, as well as our assistant coaches. Everyone is a well-rounded coach and they always try to help us to the best of their ability.
We always want to give back and say, like, you know, we are a community college and we want to give back to the community.
We raised money for Breast Cancer Awareness Month and for Movember, and we did our annual gift exchange with the YWCA.
We do the best to bring in club teams and like high school teams, elementary teams. When they come in, we do little special signings, like little cards and that, make them feel important and they go, oh, this is something I can maybe do later on. So we just really want to give back to say, hey, we are Durham College, the women's volleyball program. We want to be part of the community, we want to be active, and we want to help as much as we can.
Honestly, just go out and work as hard as you possibly can, even if you think you won't have a starting spot. Everyone works to where they need to get to, and if you want to be on the court, just show it and you'll get there.
All right, everybody. Thanks for coming out. Have a good night now.
So yeah, our one student put that together last summer. He did an awesome job with that, and I think it kind of encapsulates a lot about the program. But at the same time, we have this scheduled tonight as an opportunity for you to ask Tony questions. And as well, at the same time, we've compiled a list of questions from our summer sessions that we did for this that were kind of consistently asked by people interested in coming and playing varsity sport at Durham. So before I jump into those questions, I'll open it up to any of you if you have any questions off the top that you might have for Coach Tony.
Okay, hi. I was just wondering what a regular strength and conditioning workout kind of looks like with you all.
So Manny is our lead strength and conditioning coach. What he'll do, basically, based on our sport, he'll kind of figure out where to go and where to start. So basically, ETS overall, what it does, it looks at the core first, single leg strength, and then from there they build on stuff. And with Manny coming on board now, he's more so in the physio background. He has a good physio background. So based on some of them things that you need to improve on or whatever, he will be able to tweak a program towards to help you as an athlete. Um, but again, they're not like, it's not like it's generic, but they're about 45 to an hour long to do them because they don't want you to be going too hard, but it's very productive because the coaches that they have overseen it, like the people inside the ETS, are there to help push you and to motivate you to make sure you do it properly. Because they only have it's a small room, but it's a good room that has enough space probably for at the most, I think, 8 to 10 athletes at their blocks. So you sign up based on what your availability is with your schedule.
Yeah, a lot of our student athletes, the way it works is they'll book time with our ETS trainers, and most of the time it happens maybe in between classes or at the end of the school day. They'll set that up so once their schedule is kind of done, they can jump in there, or if they have a 4-hour break, it's something to be able to do. And I can honestly say from my last 2.5 years with DC that the women's volleyball program probably utilizes it the most, and you can see how effective it is with how successful they are. Even from that video, if you notice the one blonde athlete, Jessica Johansson, 2 years ago, she was awarded with our ETS award, which is given to someone that's shown commitment to their strength and conditioning. And then this last year, she was our overall college athlete of the year. So you go from being recognized for putting in the time and the effort in your strength and conditioning program, and then that paid off. She became an All-Canadian the next year and received tons of recognition. So the things they can do with ETS, that specific strength and conditioning program, is very valuable. And honestly, I tell people it's like having a free personal trainer. You're going to be able to go in there. They're going to be able to cater a program specifically to you, and you get to set up the schedule. So whatever's going to work best for you.
And we asked to have 2 mandatory trainings per week based on your schedule, hopefully prior to competition, because if you don't, then you don't get to play. So it's in our program as a mandatory thing that has to happen. And like I mentioned to most of you guys, most of you girls, is that the fact that your foot speed increases, on average, our vertical increase jump increases are between 5 to 7 inches. So that's like huge. Like Allison Twilliger, who just her 4th year, just recently tested her block jump was 28.5 inches. That's block jump. So last year she was at spike approach, she was at 30.5. So if that was spike approach, probably this year, she would probably be close to 31, 32-inch vertical. And I think she came in with 23, 24 inches.
I enjoy watching Allison play too, just because she's a lefty. That's always fun. Anybody here a lefty?
No
Dang.
lefty. No.
I tip with my left sometimes. It's a nice little, swipe through.
Anna, did you have any other questions off the top?
I have like 5. I have a lot because one of my friends, Cassidy, she couldn't be here tonight because she has practice. So I have some of her questions as well.
Well, why don't you pick a few to do off the top here and then save some for the end, because we'll have some time at the end for questions too.
Okay, cool. I was just wondering, in terms of scholarships, like what would be the maximum that you could offer?
So the max that a school can offer through the OCAA is 3,000, and unfortunately we we have a budget that we have to go through, and my budget is not quite high enough to give everybody $3,000 scholarship. I usually start off with 1,000 and then kind of go from there. Again, it's not much, but we do make it up in other areas. If there is extras that we can try to find in that to help out in case people are needing more money type thing, we can do our best to help that way. But again, it's the most that someone can offer you in Ontario colleges is 3,000, so that's 1,500 per semester.
And that's just the athletic scholarships that can be offered. I know at DC, if you go through the financial aid and awards, there's tons of other bursaries and scholarship opportunities, and a lot of it kind of gets left on the table sometimes too. So if you're applying to these things, there's a good chance that you'll be able to receive those, and having those extra funds can definitely help out. And then on top of that, we do have a work study program at DC that quite a few of our athletes take advantage of. One of my responsibilities is overseeing our game day staff. So that's the people that would work our women's volleyball games and do all the statting and the 3-ball and concessions and everything like that. So I hire a number of athletes from our softball and our rugby and our soccer teams. So that's another area you could look into if you're interested in work study with any of your faculties or work study with athletics. I'm sure there could be positions in our gym, at our front desk. There's tons of areas if you're looking for some part-time income while you're studying.
And I suggest that to most of you guys already that you should start doing a letter up anyways for bursaries and scholarship. And when you do look to apply for one, you could tweak that letter to what you're applying for. And I would just do a mass email out to a bunch of them and just see what you can do, because the worst thing they can do is not say anything at all, or you may be able to get some money that way. So, Anna, before you ask the next question, we have Jamie here. I know Jamie's on her way to practice. Do you have any questions at all, Jamie?
Sorry, I've never used Zoom on my phone before, so I'm trying to figure it out. I don't have any questions for you right now, but I'm sure I'll come up with one by the end of this.
And you're on your way to practice right now, right?
Yeah, I'm in the car.
Okay. All right.
My mom's driving. I'm not driving. I just want to put that out there.
All right, that's good. As long as you're being safe.
Does anybody else have a question before we jump into the list we have here? Okay, Tony, I'll lead you off with the first one we have. So these questions are from our summer series, and it's questions that came up quite a bit from people that were interested. So the first one, Tony, is just what a typical week with your team is like. So let's start from Monday all the way to Sunday, saying that you have a game day on Sunday.
Yeah, so we normally go 3 days a week. So Mondays and Tuesdays, 7 to 9, and Wednesdays, 5 to 7. And then, like I said before, with our ETS, we expect 2 mandatory trainings being completed prior to competition, or at least one. And then we would either have a game or, back-to-back games on the weekend, depending on who we're playing. So you're pretty busy for the week type thing, but again, it's a lot of other programs, they go 4 nights a week, but I'm big on the 3 because you need some rest and recovery, but you're also a student before you're an athlete.
And what about just in terms of the start of your season? So say when in the academic schedule tryouts might start up and exhibitions and tournaments leading into the season?
Yeah, like every season kind of varies. So like last season, we had the opportunity to go to Nebraska for a week before school even started. That was fantastic. All expense paid trip by the school. And yeah, it was fantastic to get that out for good team bonding, and it was amazing. So that was good. But then normally what we do is the first week or so, we wait for you guys to adjust to school. And after that, the week after, we start doing tryouts. And then from there, we'll usually do like 2 to 3 tryouts, and then have a team picked. And then basically, we're getting into some exhibition. We'll have like our alumni game, go to Montreal, go to Niagara, play a few exhibitions here and there. And then our season starts like the 3rd week of October usually, all the way until the end of February. If we do well, go to nationals, and that's the 2nd week or so into March.
And you usually keep your teams pretty busy off the hop between all the traveling you guys do for tournaments, and then all the extra traveling you've gotten to do because your team being so successful, being able to do Nebraska last year, and then Syracuse, and there was one other one in recent history. Was it Maritimes? What was it?
Yeah, Halifax.
So definitely some traveling opportunities there.
Mm-hmm.
Can you just kind of break down what a typical practice for your team runs like?
Yeah, so we get going. We do our 30s usually, which is just having a couple groups and just forearm passing volleys, just following, just to get your blood pressure, the blood flowing, so you're not blood pressure. And then we get into a dynamic stretch, and then usually we do a drill called serve 10. You gotta get served 10 consecutive balls, consistent serves in within 5 minutes. If not, whatever you have left over, you gotta do in ladders. And then we will get into like a serve receive, and then get into some defense, depending on what we're focusing on. And then usually our last part of the practice is some kind of game situation, drill that will help us get ready for our next competition.
The next question talks about facilities. I think if you were able to catch the video, that gave a pretty good breakdown of it. So I'm just going to jump to number 4 on our list. Is just athletic therapy, which I think is a big part of being part of a varsity team. And at Durham, I think it's pretty high on the list of great things that can be offered. Like Tony already touched on, every year our varsity teams will have 2 student trainers with them throughout the entirety of the season. So those student trainers will be with the team at practices, traveling with them to tournaments and away games. And then on top of that, we have our athletic therapy clinic, which we have 2 athletic therapists, Allison and Saul, who run it. Jess sometimes helps out as well. Tons of space for athletic therapy on campus. And Tony, if there's anything else, just how athletic therapy works at DC.
Like it's very, very good because ETS therapy and like our trainers that we have all work together. So if there's an injury or something like that, ETS will be aware, and our therapists will be aware, our trainers will be aware. So they're all working together. So say, for instance, if someone had a concussion, we will be like that return to play protocol, making sure that everybody's being, like, the returning athletes being, safe and following the proper protocols. So like we had an athlete like Carlina Domingo, she blew her knee out at our Adidas Cup 2 years ago. She had surgery in the May of that year, and she was ready to be back and playing in December, and started playing the following year within 1 year of her rehab. She was one of the best surgeons clients she's ever had, and they said that she worked hard, and it was from the ETS that kept her leg strength good to have her recover quick, and then she was able to utilize therapy in the summer to help get her back, and she's fully back now.
So athletic therapy is a big part of it. And then just in our campus health center, as a student at DC, there's opportunities to take advantage of chiropractors, massage therapists, which I think varsity athletes also get a little bit of a lead in the line for massage therapy if anybody's interested in that. And then mental health professionals as well. And just this year, I believe they've added a sport doctor to our list of doctors at the health center. So that definitely helps with our varsity teams in terms of first year athletes coming and get their physicals done real quick, but then also having that session afterwards if anybody does suffer an injury. A big one that comes up, Tony, all the time is what an athlete does if they have a conflict with academics and varsity. So how does that work at Durham College in terms of you might have a class that has a conflict with sports? How does that work?
So I always tell the athletes, like even at Varsity 101, so Varsity 101 is a night where we'll have like either winter sports all together, and then there's fall sports. And then Ken, our athletic director, and along with like other people within their departments, will discuss what the expectations are, so on and so forth. But there's on our website, it's called a professor letter. So what I say to the girls is like, get that professor letter, put your name on it, attach your schedule, go to your teacher or your prof to say, hey, I'm a women's volleyball player. Um, I just want to let you know that I could potentially have some conflicts, or if you know the conflicts prior, just say, hey, like, I had this conflict. Is there a way we can work around this? But if you have class during practice, you go to class. If we have like a really important practice that maybe you can make it work, and then fine. But most likely, if you have we have practice, you have to go to class. But if you are proactive with your teachers, they will be pretty good to accommodate you and to help you out. I even done proctor exams on the bus up to Ottawa for say, I like making sure the person's getting their tests done and all. So just making sure you advocate for yourself, to be proactive. But when you do that, you're also saying, hey, this is who I am type thing. And they might, they'll remember who you are type thing, and they'll help you out if you need to be helped out. Because like in college, you're not just like you're a name, not a number usually. So, and if you talk to your professors, a lot of them will even come out and watch some of your games too to support you.
Yeah, the teachers and professors are pretty understanding, but it's important to be very upfront with them right off the top. At the beginning of the year, let them know that you're a varsity athlete. You might have some conflicts. For instance, you might be having to travel for a doubleheader in Ottawa on Saturday and Sunday, and you might miss a class on the Friday. But the great thing about sports and the great thing about college is you're going to know your schedule way ahead of time. So all of that schedule is going to be available to you. You're going to know months in advance if something like this might happen. And giving them that kind of notice is important. It's not going to go over very well if on Thursday you say, I'm not going to be there tomorrow for class, or I'm not going to be able to submit this tomorrow, or be there for the test tomorrow because I'm traveling on the varsity team. That comes off very poorly. So doing that off the top and using things that we have for our athletes, such as the professor letter or our academic support officer, Mike Duggan, goes a long way in smoothing those things over and allows the teachers to be able to help you when those type of situations come up. And then on top of that, our academic officer, Mike Duggan, does a really good job of seeing if anybody might need assistance. There's tons of additional academic support. So Tony, maybe you want to touch on some of the academic supports?
Yeah, so what Mike does is he oversees what your grades and all that stuff, and I get like a midterm report, a final report for both semesters type thing, just to make sure you're staying on track, because we want to see you being successful in the classroom. So at midterms, if there's some issues, then we could point you towards SALS, which is a student academic learning resource to help you get through and help you with time management, studying skills, all those different things to help you. And then, sometimes athletes will help each other out as well. But Mike is really good because, again, like kind of going back to if you're needing some support or help, as long as you, like you say, you're proactive, talking to the teacher before, then, they're not willing to adapt to what's happening, then that's when we kind of like go up the chain for our kind of like complaint procedure type thing. So as long as you are upfront and honest with Mike and everything else, he will help you out a lot. And he understands people will have some struggles sometimes, but at the same time though too, it's the main thing is going to class. If you miss classes, then you're gonna not do very well. So you got to get to class. That's the main thing.
Okay, our next question pertains to kind of the year leading up to coming to college. What's one thing athlete can work on athletically leading up to going to college, whether it's in the fall or January? What can they try and get better at over that year before?
Well, obviously fitness, getting that, coming in ready to go. And that's the thing, like what we do is like the open gyms and stuff like that to help you become more comfortable in that. So I know there's a lot of players out of province type thing, but we keep them in a loop type thing by, emails, text, or phone calls. But we provide like our ETS programs online as well. And just being ready to go, and being ready to work. Like, it's going to take an adjustment period to figure out, because sometimes some athletes are used to their parents kind of helping them along, but it's up to you to figure out that little help. And that's why I also am big on the transition with the talking to your athletes on your team, because they will help mentor you as well.
Sorry to interrupt. I just had a quick question before I had to step into practice.
For sure. Go ahead.
Would you support an athlete to attend ETS more than twice a week if they wanted to?
Yeah, as long as they are staying on top of their academics. Like this year, Jess, our captain, the blonde girl, she was going 3-4 times a week. As long as it's not going to put you in danger of risk of injury or, for recovery, but it's most beneficial for 3 nights to do ETS. But again, it would be talked about with our, ETS staff and our therapy to make sure everything's going to work well.
And it's just making sure, like Tony already touched on, like it's not going to have an effect academically. Like Tony mentioned Jess, and she's able to do that because at the end of this year, she was an academic All-Canadian. So she was doing really well in school, and she could handle that 3 or 4 nights. But at the same time, she was in her 4th year of college. So by that point, she's kind of figured things out, I would hope. So yeah, that's probably number one for sure.
Yeah. And the thing is though too, sometimes there's times when you have your ETS session and it's like, say it's on a game day, like what ETS is not going to make you do like a full workout. They'll put you through like a rigorous stretching, like rollout program just to get you ready for the game. So, but try to avoid scheduling your workouts during a game day.
Anything else, Jamie?
That's my only question that I had for you guys. Sorry, I have to run to practice now, but thank you so much.
No problem. Take care, Jamie.
Have a good practice.
Bye.
Okay, we'll jump back into our questions here and kind of piggyback off the last one, Tony. When you have the opportunity to go out and watch athletes compete, what is one thing you're looking for? So it can be kind of a general thing that you're watching for, or if you want to break it down by positions too and talk about specific skills, feel free.
Yeah, so when I go look at athletes, I try to hide, but then I usually give a coach a heads up I'm coming to, just to say hey, and I tell the athletes too, like I may show up, but don't be looking at me and don't pay attention to what I'm doing. I want you to watch the game. So, because my big thing, what I do is I look for how they interact with the team, right? And how they respond to an error, how they respond to a kill or a block, how they respond to the coaching, so on and so forth. That's what I look at first, because some people think it's the skill I'm looking at first. Like if you aren't the right mix for our program, then that's the biggest thing, right? So just looking at that, and then from there, look at skills and see. I've had with Brooke and Alicia, I've had actually they sent me videos and of their games, and we've actually gone through a video session and given them some tips and tricks and everything else, and it's funny how quick they picked it up, and it's like, okay, so they sent me the next one. I'm like, oh, you did it, right? So it's just trying to figure out those little things to tweak and to help out. But again, don't look at the coaching, the recruiter type thing to say, oh yeah, he's watching, because then what happens if you start doing bad, the coach comes over like, yeah, thanks a lot for messing my player up because she was all worried because you were here. And that's happened to me too. And it's like, oh, sorry, my bad.
And are there any specific skills that you're looking for in terms of separate positions?
Well, it will depends on what we need, right? So like we're going in our next year, like we obviously need setters or whatever, and then we need middles. That's our big target right now, because we have some good outside hitters in that. So, oh, someone else is here.
Mia jumped in with us.
Is it Mia or Maya?
It's Mia.
Mia, okay. Because Haley told me, I said it's Maya. She says no, it's Mia. I'm like, then she got all mixed up. So, welcome. I'm gonna mess it up again. Don't worry.
So just back to the skills.
Yeah, so it just depends, right? Like I look and see, because they're not going to come out of high school or a club, whatever, like they're going to be like superstars right away, right? Because they're going to be having something that they need to work on. So I look beyond for the potential they have. That's what I look at.
Okay. And then moving to our second last question. Tony, this one is a scenario-based question. So say a high school student or a club athlete is going to come and watch one of our games in this beautiful gym behind me. What is going to stand out about your teams when they're watching the game?
Well, I like to be a loud team. I like to have a cohesive unit, and most importantly, have fun while we're playing, right? So, we've had a lot of success in our home gym. We get a lot of fans from, with myself and Jordan presenting it, or, promoting it with our local clubs and bringing people in. So it does get, if you look at Jordan to his left ear, that's usually the home side, and that half the side is usually pretty filled up, and the other side has, some people in there and that. But we've had some pretty good crowds in that. We have Mikey the Greek, who's one of our game day promoters. He loves the female athletes, and he loves getting them going and cheering them on. He gives us little pep talks, and so he's out there throwing T-shirts and getting thunder sticks and everything else. So if you ever want to watch any of our home games, you can go on OCAA Live, and then go on the on demand, and then you can see our home games and that, because we have them live streamed. And where Jordan's head is, when the backdrop is up there, is the Kate Burness media gondola. So he has work study staff out there that are videotaping and commentating the games as well.
Yeah, and that's a big plus for anyone out of province as well, that every single one of our home volleyball games is streamed. It's mandated by our conference to do a webcast for all of the games. So we stream all the home games, and then all of your games away will be streamed by whichever school you're at, but it will all be located on that OCAA Live page. So anybody out of province can tune in and keep tabs for sure.
And then as athletes, if you're on the team, we utilize Huddle. So you get a Huddle account, and then you can go back to your games and that. Unfortunately, we don't have the breakdown. I'm working on getting that, because I think it's a very useful thing in volumetrics. It'd be fantastic, but I do a lot of breakdown anyways, and provide you guys with tons of information.
Hi, sorry to interrupt. Cassidy is coming. She's just trying to figure out how to get on.
She's in the waiting room. Just letting her in now.
Okay, perfect.
So yeah, and then I was going to say, one other thing that I think makes the home games pretty fun too is just the great relationship between the men's and women's volleyball team. So in our conference, the women's volleyball games always go first, but our men's volleyball team is always there that early to be there to cheer on our women's team. And then the same, once their game's done and the men jump on the court, the women's team usually sticks around to cheer them on too. So there's a lot of cohesion between those two programs. And between Coach Mike and Coach Tony. Our last question of our recruit questions from the summer is just any final tips you have for someone interested in playing a varsity sport at college.
Sorry, Jordan. I my internet was weird there and I couldn't hear you.
All good. Any final tips for someone interested in playing a varsity sport at college?
Yeah, just reach out to the coaching staff, see what they have a little highlight video going with some game film on it, and ask all the questions. A lot of the athletes, they have options, and there's a lot of great schools out there. So check those schools out and just dot those I's, cross those T's, and see what's there. But again, just ask the questions and be ready to go, because I think you know everything's going to be going next year, I believe, with the COVID. So uh, use the time when you're down right now to do some movement hygiene, do some good stretching and stuff like that to be ready to go when the time comes to start playing again.
And at this point, we can jump back into questions, which works out really, really well now that Cassidy's here. She'll be able to get the answers to her questions. So if anybody has a question, feel free to unmute.
Oh, Cassidy, she's on the call, but she can't hear anything, so she's just trying to figure it out on her end. That's why I've been looking down. I've been looking at my phone because we've been texting about it. I'm writing everything down for her though, so
okay,
she won't miss anything.
Do you want to pull up another one of your questions there, Anna?
Oh, sure. I was just wondering, how many people are you looking for per position?
Well, we've gone through some of our lists right now. Because I'm still waiting. There's a couple of girls that are on the fence about coming back. So we're trying to figure that out. But, unfortunately, we just had a recent tragedy with our assistant coaches and that. So we're getting some time to go from there to see what we're at and what's going to transpire for next year. So next year, I guarantee you we'll be carrying 14 athletes for sure, with the potential of carrying maybe a couple red shirts, because of the fact that some players are going to come back, and it's only fair that if they're still here and ready to go, give them one more opportunity, because it's not fair that this season the way it happened, right? So, but some of the athletes are going to be done, and it's pretty upsetting, because my thing is like I always say, don't leave school saying should have, would have, could have. And one of the athletes that isn't coming back, and I mentioned that at the very beginning when she first started. I always mention it every year, and she didn't really understand what that meant until now. And it's like, damn, I should have done this. I could have done that, and stuff like that. So Jordan made a really good point with Jess. She went 3 or 4 times a week. She worked hard in the classroom, off out of the classroom on the court, and she got recognized for first team All-Star, All Canadian, academic All-Star, all those kind of things. So, and she's a girl that came in that said what do I need to do to start playing, and she's been starting ever since.
Do you have another one there, Anna?
Okay. I appreciate all the attention I'm getting right now. It's making me feel
I think everybody's enjoying your questions. I'm sure it's what they would ask too.
Oh, well, thank you. What kind of gear do your athletes get? Obviously jersey, shorts, but in terms of do you guys offer shoes, jackets? What's the deal there?
So every year the package that we get through our Durham Lords program varies. Most often it's a tracksuit, polo shirt, a sweater, a hoodie, couple practice shirts, your spandex, a couple pairs of spandex. You get knee pads. Everybody's so different with shoes. I want the Kyrie. You still hear me?
Now we can.
Okay. So I get socks made up that have like Durham Lords logos in that, so we're somewhat uniform that way. Um, I get extra things, like I get like sometimes long sleeves, or last year the girls got Adidas parkas. So usually athletes don't pay for anything extra. It's what we do through fundraising in that. And um, I will say that the women's volleyball team is pretty spoiled for the gear that we get because I get extra stuff.
How many variations of the practice shirts does your team have?
4. Well, we had 6, but yeah, we have 4. We have white, black, green, and yellows.
And most of the gear comes through our Adopt a Lord program. So what that is athletes can go out and solicit a sponsorship. So when I was at university on the varsity team, I had to pay the fee to get my tracksuit and everything like that, and it was $250. And through the Adopt a Lord program, if you go out, or if a team goes out, or if a parent donates that $250, then it's all taken care of. And then they receive a certificate and a tax write-off. So a lot of businesses love to do something like that because 1, you're supporting the local college, and then 2, everybody loves tax write-offs for their businesses.
Well, this year we had Katie Stewart's parents sponsor 6 athletes.
So the full set of gear is definitely a good thing.
Yeah.
And then I get to rate it all, the leftovers. Anybody else with a question?
And we're all Adidas. Like, we're Adidas. So that's our gear. Cass, do you have any questions?
Hi, sorry, I came in like really late.
Yeah, no worries.
Yeah, sorry, I got off practice like really late. I was just wondering, so if you say you're like all Adidas, does it matter if you buy like Nike shoes?
No.
No, you can, yeah.
Yeah. The girls looked at, like, we can get like through our Adidas, like we can get like, I think 40% off, I think, through our supplier, right, Jordan? I think
something close to that, yeah.
Yeah. So we were looking at getting shoes this year, the Adidas ones. But like obviously the COVID stuff. So like that could be something that we could look at to do. If you have any kind of thing that you want that, as a team, bring it up and we can do it. Like I'm trying to get Adidas face masks for everybody. But they're sold out. They're like back ordered and all that stuff. So and I want to get like numbers put on them. I'm a big thing with numbers. What's that, sorry?
I said that's cool, like little numbers on the side, like whose is who.
Yeah, so you don't know whose is, like you're not, using someone else's or whatever, right? That's why I'm big on numbers.
I'm sorry to interrupt, but Cassidy, did you say Nike earlier?
Yeah, no, because he said he was like, we're sponsored by Adidas. So I was thinking, like, if you're sponsored by Adidas, are you allowed to wear Nike shoes?
No, but Nike.
Yeah, Nikes.
Nike. Hey, don't come at me with this Nike right now. Don't say it.
It's
Anna,
Nike.
I don't know what you're going to say.
It's not Nike.
I will combat you on the court.
Period.
What about Mia? Any questions near the end here?
It all sounds really similar to Nate, so sounds good. We got the same gear deal, sort of, so yep.
So Mia, you really have to be good friends with Jordan, because you want to do the sports management program. Jordan graduated from it, right?
Yep.
And look where he's at now. And he does take students on and everything else too.
Okay, well, we might have to be friends then.
If you're good at writing or graphic design, we're besties.
Perfect. I'm all over that.
And then you got to make sure she gets to meet Kate Bernesto, Jordan.
Oh, she'll be around. She's always around.
Yeah.
What about Jocelyn? Any questions?
No, I don't have any.
Nothing at all?
We've covered a lot.
Yeah, I think everything was covered.
Jill?
I'm pretty sure everything was covered that has masks.
Brooke, we're doing the roll call.
I'm good.
Alicia?
I don't have any.
Okay. I found, we'll see if this comes up, but I found the Nike shoes photo that I put up last year on the Durham Lords social because the shoes just look so good. Oh, I got to turn off my virtual background, I think.
What shoes are these?
These are Cass's. Didn't they all go out and get?
Yeah, a lot of the
spoilers.
girls
I'm not in the gym.
Yeah.
Oh! There we go.
And on the bottom of her shoe, she's got number 5. Yeah, in the shoe.
So there you go.
And I got a pair of Adidas ones custom made, but I didn't like them. Remember the ones that said DC for DC in the back, Jordan?
No, I don't remember those.
The Damian Lillards.
It's definitely an eclectic bunch when you go to any of the volleyball games between all the different shoes everyone's wearing.
Yeah.
Yeah, the bottom of my shoes, similarly to those ones have a number 5. Mine say equality on the bottom just because they're the LeBrons that are like one's white, one's black.
Yeah.
So it's just like my shoes, people like, I don't know if you guys know Jeff Ross, but he always asks like, where's the other shoe? And I'm like, Jeff, I've explained this to you like 6 times. They come like this.
Yeah. LeBrons.
Okay, I think that'll do it. Thank you all for joining us tonight.
Thanks, everybody. If you have any more game film, I'm more than happy to watch game film, so pass it on. That's an awkward silence. Everybody's sitting there going, okay, and don't mind the goatee. I don't normally have one, but I'm doing it to make my wife mad, so.
It's kind of a nice look, honestly.
It works.
Yeah, it's gonna turn into your new look, like making.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Yeah.
No.
Me and Cass are about to roll up to DC, and we're expecting the goatee.
It's November, right? Isn't it like shave November?
I'll Photoshop it out if it's in any headshots.
Hey, I took a Photoshop class in grade 10. I can help out with that.
There you go.
Perfect.
Awesome. Everybody have a good night and take care.
Yeah, thank you.
Thank you.
All right.
We're being here for like 10 minutes.
Yeah. Go watch the video.
I will.
Yes, I have lots of notes for you.
There you go.
Thank you.
Welcome.
Okay, bye guys.
Bye-bye.
Have a good night.